Hi, I'm Ellie, and this is your weekly theatre news recap, the only news show where you get the news by me, told to you, where I tell you about UK news, about theatre, about shows in London and outside of London, touring. Yes. This is the most chaotic way to get your theatre news, and if you want to stay up to date with all of that theatre, make sure you hit like and subscribe because I do these every single week. Now, this week was a fairly quiet news week, actually. Well, I'm quite thankful, actually, seeing as I recapped 2 weeks of news last week, and that video was 35 minutes long. I feel like I needed something a little bit calmer this week, so I'm glad. I'm glad it's a bit quieter, but let's jump into it as we always do, starting with our casting news. First up in casting news, we have a new Phantom of the Opera and new cast members joining the Phantom of the Opera in the West End. First up, Dean Chisnell, who recently played Jean Valjean in Les Mis, joins the company as the Phantom. And we are very much seeing a Jean Valjean to Phantom pipeline, seeing as we've had John Robbins play the role recently as well. Like, you either die as Jean Valjean or you live long enough to become the Phantom. But that's not all in this casting announcement, because we also have the amazing Joanna Ampil, who is joining as Carlotta, Martin Ball, who is playing Monsieur, I can't pronounce French words, Sir Furman. Helen Hobson, Come From Away alum, and you know me, I always support my Come From Away alums, as Madame Geary. I haven't seen Phantom in so long. Oh my god, I've forgotten how to pronounce all of these names. And Millie Lyon, who is making her West End and professional debut as Meg. We also have ensemble members who will be in the description down below. Cool. As I said, I haven't seen Phantom in a while, but this is quite a cool cast. Very excited for Joanna Ampil. Absolute talent. She's going to slay in that role. I haven't seen Dean Chisnell do much, so hopefully I'll be able to catch the new cast of Phantom at some point soon. Phantom's a camp all time. It's fun. It's a silly show about someone who's a little bit too obsessed, and there's fire. Next up, this is a casting announcement this week that I literally looked at my phone when this came out and I was like, what? Because we got the rest of the cast for the Les Mis Arena Tour. Now, I think the casting that came out before this was cool, but it wasn't really anything that, like, got me really excited, because it's all people who I've seen in these roles before. You know, we have Alfie Boll and Killian Donnelly sharing the role of Jean Valjean, Michael Ball and Bradley Jaden sharing the role of Javert, and them doing it in the UK. But then they announced the rest of the cast, and oh my god. First up, Bonnie Langford as Madame Thénardier. Are you kidding me? That's amazing. That's incredible. I can't wait to see it. Joining the Sondheim's Old Friends reunion that this really feels like it is, because almost all of these people... Actually, no. Yeah, like 70 to 80% of this casting announcement, it's all people who were in Sondheim's Old Friends. We have Gavin Lee as Thénardier. Genius, inspired. I love it. Thank you very much. I am always here for it. We have Jack Yarrow, who's playing Marius. Great choice. Beatrice Penny-Tura, who is playing Cosette. Great choice. Great choice. And then we have Channa Hewitt as Fontaine, James D. Gish as Honduras, and Jeremy Seacombe as the Bishop, leading a cast and orchestra of over 65, with further casting to be announced soon. Langford, Gavin Lee, Jack, Beatrice, and Jeremy were all in Sometimes Old Friends. I'm loving this mini reunion of that cast. I feel like this is pretty well cast. For like an arena tour, these are the type of people I would love to see. Like, this gets me really excited. This gets me massively excited for it, especially Bonnie Langford. Bonnie Langford as Madame Thénardier, or can she do a split? Can we make it do a split in the final number? What's it called? Oh my god, I've forgotten it. The final number that Thénardiers do, where they do a little reprise in the party. That one. Can Bonnie Langford do a split at the end of that number, please? Thank you. That's all I want. Next up, we're heading over to the Young Vic, where we have a revival of The Little Foxes. Very quick news story this week is that Anne-Marie Duff is going to star in this revival. This is playing from the 4th of December to the 8th of February 2025. You may know Duff from her role of Erin in Sex Education. I haven't seen it, so, I mean, I probably should. I do really like Inshutagawa, but I need to see it. I haven't seen it, so if you are interested, you can go and see that at the Young Vic next year, or the end of this year. Next up, we have 2 new understudies joining for the final 2 months of Two Strangers Carry a Cake Across New York, and they are Tilly LaBelle Yengo and Joe Kelly. Furthermore, they've also announced, and I'm just going to lump it in here, normally I would split these stories up, but it's so neatly put together that I'll keep them together. We are getting a finished cast album for this show. So, previously they had released a bunch of demos, and they're going to release 7 more songs which will complete in 2 parts, a full cast album for Two Strangers that will be released later this month. The new tracks include On the App, Under the Mistletoe, American Express, Hangover Duet, He Doesn't Exist, The Argument, and Dearly Beloved. So that's really exciting. I can't wait to listen to the full cast album of the show. Very, very cool. And finally, in casting news this week, we got some more announcement from Mamma Mia the Party. The party version of Mamma Mia that is currently reigning high at the O2. British pop star Anthony Costa, currently playing the role of Nikos, is continuing until the 15th of November 2024. And he will be joined by new cast members Lucinda Lawrence as Kate, Inez Fernandez, Henrique Firth, Georgia Morgan, Kelly Aaron, and Ollie Llewellyn Williams. This is really cool. I still haven't seen Mamma Mia the Party. I mean, it took me long enough to see Mamma Mia full stop, but maybe this year is the year that I see Mamma Mia the Party. I don't know. I guess we'll find out. And then we can move on to concert news. There wasn't any. Unless I missed it, there was no concerts announced this week, which is a massive surprise. Normally, there's about 50 announced every week, but we can move straight on to our miscellaneous news this week. Now, this is actually quite a sad category. There was a lot of cancellations this week, and I'm going to talk you through them, but first we can do a little bit of celebration because Starlight Express, after opening night, extended until June 2025. Really great to see it doing really well. Obviously, a lot of people are going to see it. A lot of people are very nostalgic about it. I went to see it. My review is up if you haven't seen that already. I spoke for 30 minutes on that musical, so if you want a very detailed review, it's over there. But now we can move on to our slightly sadder news this week. First off, Notes from a Small Island. This was a play that was going to go on tour, and sadly, they have cancelled it. The producer said in a statement, "Unfortunately, the planned tour of Notes from a Small Island is unable to proceed." That is all they said. We don't know the reasons for this cancellation. We don't know anything further than that, sadly. This is really sad to see. This was a nice little celebratory moment for the Watermill, having 2 shows that would be touring at the same time. But I'm just very upset for everyone involved. Next up, we got the announcement that Ian McKellen will be pulling out of the Player Kings tour. So 2 weeks ago, Ian McKellen had an accident on stage. He fell off the stage at the Noel Coward and was promptly rushed to hospital. He is currently recovering and sadly had to pull out of the final dates of the West End run. It was announced that he would be returning for the planned tour, this tour running through the month of July, but sadly it has been announced that he will have to pull out of the tour to recover from his injury. David Senmark is taking over the role of Falstaff for the remaining tour dates until the 27th of July, but wishing Ian McKellen a very speedy recovery. And finally, in sad cancellations this week, we have Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. So, between the tour stops of Bromley and Milton Keynes, there was an accident and the car prop in the show was damaged. And due to this car now needing repairs, they were forced to cancel last week's performances in Milton Keynes. And they have now announced that sadly they need more time to fix the car, so they have had to reschedule next week's performances in Bradford. These have already been rescheduled for Tuesday the 17th to Sunday the 22nd of September 2024. So if you were wanting to see Chitty in Bradford, sadly you can't go this week, but you have more dates and more times that you can go and see this show. And let's move on to our final section of this week. This is, as I said, really quiet news week. Some really cool things in here, but really quiet because we only have 2 shows to talk about. And funnily enough, they are at the exact same theatre. I have a lot to say on these two shows, so let's dive into it. First off, we have Mischief Movie Night. You all know Mischief Theatre from The Play It Goes Wrong, Peter Pan Goes Wrong, The Goes Wrong Show, there are other shows like Mind Mangula, but when they were at the Arts, they had an improv show called Mischief Movie Night. This also happened in 2020 in December as theatres were starting to come back a little bit from COVID for a short run at the Vaudeville. And now they have announced that Mischief Movie Night will be coming back, this time going to the Other Palace from the 30th of July to the 1st of September 2024. Mischief Movie Night is an improvised show. Every single show has a host who is looking back on a film from their collection, and this film is being improvised in front of your eyes. You will suggest a genre of film, maybe it's horror, comedy, musical, and they will create a production for you. They may rewind on some of the footage, they may fast forward, they may go into cut scenes and director's editions of it, and they are accompanied with a live score, courtesy of musician Richard Baker. I saw this at the Vaudeville, and it is a blast. It's very similar to the improvised musical that Showstopper does. It's so much fun, and this will reunite a lot of Mischief legends, including Henry Shields, Bryony Corrigan, Niall Ransom, Henry Lewis, Rhianna Alexander Davies, Lauren Sheeran, Susan Harrison, Jonathan Sayer, Ellie Morris, Nancy Zammit, Matt Cavendish, Ruth Bratt, and Joss Elliott. So if you would like to catch Mischief Movie Night, you can see it at the Other Palace all through August. I will hopefully manage to get myself a ticket. I would love to see it again. It's a lot of fun. And I'm really glad to see them do it again. I feel like I was hoping they get another run of it at some point, and I feel like now is a great time to do it. And the Other Palace is such a wonderful, intimate space that I feel like will really work wonders for this show. And also heading to the Other Palace is a musical that has been workshopped and toured and has been refining itself more and more, working towards this main production, and that is Cake, the Marie Antoinette playlist. This is returning for a full season this autumn, from the 13th of September to the 10th of November, slotting itself into this season between Mischief Movie Night and the upcoming Percy Jackson musical. So, as I previously said, this is a show that toured the UK, it had workshops, it originally started at the Other Palace's MT Fest, and had a concert at the Lyric Theatre in London. So, this is not the first time that we are seeing Cake, but it's a musical that has been workshopping and trying to improve itself slowly and slowly. I went to see the concert version, and I had a lot of opinions on it. I could very clearly see what they were going for. I was thinking that they were going to take it more immersive, because from the way that they were presenting it, it felt like this was a style of show that would work a lot better actually done in a very intimate club space. Honestly, what they've kind of done for Closer to Heaven at the Turbine was more of what I thought they would give to Cake. I'm kind of confused that they didn't take it over there instead. I feel like that would be a stronger space for this show. But they've reworked it, they've changed it, maybe. This is a version of the show that suits the Other Palace a lot more than the other version. But it has also been announced that the amazing Zizi Strallen will return to play Marie alongside Renee Lamb, who is also returning. This is really cool. I think these two were some of the strongest elements of the show in that concert. I'm hoping that some more cast members will be returning too. There was a certain cast member on tour that I would love to see come back to the show as well. Yeah, I'm intrigued by this. I think there's a lot to Cake that I really enjoyed. There's a lot that I could see that they could very clearly work on, and they've taken the time to work on that now. So I'm really interested to see what this version of the show holds. And there you go. That is all your news this week. As I said, very short news week this week, not too much to talk about, but some really cool things in there, and some really nice things that are off West End, or new musicals trying to build themselves up. What are you most excited for? Have you seen any of these shows before? Are you looking forward to new versions of them? Let me know all your thoughts, and what you're most excited for in the comments down below. If you did enjoy this video, please consider hitting like and subscribe. I do these every single week, as I said, so make sure you don't miss any. Here's some links to some other videos on screen right now, and a link to my Instagram if you would like to drop me a follow over there. I also have other socials and a merch store in the description down below. But that is it for me today, and I hope to see you next time. Bye.